Well, hi, Laura. It's so fun to be here with you today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, today I want to talk about auctions, and we here at Good Life Luxury are all about taking an untraditional approach to real estate sales, marketing and sales. And auctions, I would say, is pretty unconventional. And it's fun. You and I met not too long ago, in fact, at an auction that you did here in Austin. And I have to tell you, it was my first auction, home auction,
Yes.
and it was really exciting.
Good. Glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved the energy. I loved the, it was really the energy. I loved the auction itself, the live auction. Now, I know you'll talk about not everyone is live, but
Right.
in this case it was. But lots of energy, a lot of excitement, fun marketing, really getting to experience the home in a whole different manner. So I'm really excited to talk to you today, really to learn more about auctions. I think everybody watching and our readers and watchers, if you will, our audience, are always interested in unique approaches. So you founded Concierge Auctions, correct?
Yes, I did.
So what was the spark? Tell me a little bit about your background and what was the genesis of saying, I think I want to create a home auction company.
Sure. So I founded the company in 2008, and prior to that, I was a real estate agent myself, and I was selling with the Sotheby's brand in Southwest Florida. And my partner, who's now my partner in the business now, he was the broker owner of the brokerage that I was working with in Southwest Florida. And we started to see the market start to turn in Florida in the early 2000s. I mean, it was well before anywhere else in the U.S., and Sarasota was really one of the epicenters of, the downturn of the market. So we started looking into other non-traditional ways of selling, as you are now just throughout your business, but especially then because we saw what was coming and we wanted to be able to help clients who wanted to, monetize their properties before the market continued to turn even further down. So we started looking into auction as a concept for our listings at the time and employed a number of different auctioneers, and at the end of the day we learned a lot about the auction process by working with a few different companies. And we also learned that there was a void in the marketplace to conduct auctions in the way that we knew that they could be conducted after that experience. So subsequently, I left my brokerage business and started Concierge Auctions, and it really just took off from there. We've been growing year over year. That was 2008, so we're now going on our 9th year in business.
Wow.
And we've just been growing organically each year, creating more unit volume, more geography. We actually are based here in Austin, Texas, with our marketing and technology office now. Our headquarters in general is in New York City, but we have spanned 32 U.S. states and 11 countries. And the fact that we're active in that many geographies, and so the fact that we're actually based here in Austin with you guys is pretty helpful, that we're able to be really close to the merchandise if we're able to work together.
Absolutely, and how fun that Austin's the center of this really a global brand that you've produced. So I'd say that many of us are somewhat experienced with auctions, but if we've ever seen an auction or experienced it, it's probably at a nonprofit event,
Sure.
auctioning off some high ticket items for nonprofit, maybe a car auction here and there. Few people maybe art, but houses. So tell us, how does an auction work when it comes to selling a home?
Well, traditionally in the real estate space, a lot of people have associated auction with distressed properties.
I think that's the first thing we think about is I auction it if it's last resort, distressed properties, can't get rid of it any other way.
Right.
And that's actually what I thought about before actually meeting you and seeing and experiencing it for myself.
Right. Yeah. So to start off with that as, kind of a setting the stage, that I understand that a lot of listeners probably have that, mentality, because we're used to bank-owned auctions, foreclosure larger type auctions. Auction.com, which is now rebranded as 10X, has conducted a lot of bank-owned property auctions and commercial auctions through the years. Auction is certainly growing in every category of real estate, but as it relates to our business, we skew very differently than the traditional, feeling of real estate auctions, because our auctions are more akin to auctions of fine art or antiques, or, as you mentioned, cars, classic car auctions. And in fact, most of our clients, even, I understand agents are used to it through charity auctions and other auctions, as you mentioned, but a lot of the clients are also used to auctioning these other items that they have that are fine assets. So we have been changing the public perception of auction as it relates to high-end real estate, just one property at a time, as we're selling properties that are very unique and typically difficult to value. And that's why they perform very well on the auction platform, because placing a price on a property that has attributes unlike any other property is very difficult for an agent, for an appraiser, for a seller. Unless you have a buyer, you don't know what the property's worth.
Absolutely. So what happens at an auction if somebody says, I have a unique property, I'm in a situation that's very tough to value, or even if I'm a real estate professional, I have a seller or property that's tough to value. Mm-hmm. What's the process?
So first things first, with us as a company, we always work with a real estate agent. So we've never conducted an auction. We're going to surpass $1 billion in closed sales within the next month.
Congratulations.
So that's a good milestone for us. Thank you. And we've never had a sale without a listing agent involved or a co-broke. So that's the first thing, that we're here to be a support if you do have a property that fits in the criteria. So we would work along with you and educate the seller on the process. What does it mean to auction your home? Sellers typically have 3 goals that they want to accomplish when they hire us. The first is price revelation. What is my property worth? Let's try to bring buyers to the table that tell us that. The second is liquidity. A lot of these properties are at such a high price point, or just so one of a kind, that they're not liquid on any given day. They're not just a roof over someone's head. They're more discretionary purchase. And then the third is time. So our sellers want a balance of time, liquidity, and price. And we attempt to accomplish all 3 with every sale. Sometimes we accomplish 2 out of the 3. So educating the sellers on that's what we're shooting for you, to create the best price we can within your time frame. And if we then find out that we're the right fit for the seller, then we work alongside you, the broker, and the listing agent to bring our marketing platform into the mix. We market the property for 4 to 6 weeks, and then we conduct an auction at the end of that time period.
So let's talk marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little different than throw the home in the MLS and hope it sells. So describe what you guys do to market some of these global properties. And for example, we had a home here in Austin, Texas, and I know you said there were bidders from all over the world that were buying for this multi-million-dollar home. Mm-hmm. So how do you produce that market?
And this is actually a personal passion of mine. My background is actually in marketing, and when I was an agent myself, I was really attuned to, creative marketing. And so what we do is it's just a very aggressive marketing schedule for 4 to 6 weeks of everything from traditional advertising and marketing that you think of, print advertising and the traditional outlets throughout the U.S. and internationally, local advertising. A big part of it is that we hit our database very hard. We've actually been lucky to acquire a database of now over 360,000 contacts as of today that have opted into, to our auctions as we've been conducting them through the years. So we have a great pool that we're able to segment. We have a really detailed CRM system that we can go into and filter based on each property and figure out who within our database we can reach out to. And then the third element of it is public relations. So we're really big on communicating with the media, making sure that there's a story around the auction that's coming up. And then the fourth would be broker relations. So again, us being very involved in the brokerage community, it's a very, very big part of our process to make sure that the listing agent on the property is engaged and helping us to create the buzz within the real estate community so that agents then get their clients involved. So the marketing approach is very holistic, it's well-rounded. Our team here in Austin, works really hard to get very aggressive about the marketing from day one.
So is this a choice that many sellers would choose to do up front, or does it usually happen when the house doesn't sell through traditional measures?
That's a great question. It's one we've actually been studying a lot lately because we're starting to have more sellers come to us at the beginning as a go-to-market strategy, so they have not been listed before. And it's actually proven very successful for sellers like that because it's again, it's a one-of-a-kind property, hasn't been offered for sale. It's really exciting when it hits the market and there's a date certain that it's going to sell. In our research, we've actually found that it's pretty consistent that there is a direct correlation between days on market and the value that we're able to obtain for the property. And what I mean by that is, if you think about an X and Y axis, a graph, and at the top left side is the property has never been listed before, and that's retail price. The y-axis is the price that you can obtain. So we're talking about at the very beginning, ding dong, someone comes and rings your doorbell, you're not listed, and they're willing to pay whatever they need to get you to sell your house. That's at the top left quadrant, right? Retail price. And then at the bottom right is going to be a wholesale price. The property's been listed, for years, some of these properties, and finally the seller has just capitulated to give it to someone who's a wholesale buyer. So we're able to perform somewhere between those two, right? Market would be between retail and wholesale. And depending on how long the property's been on the market is a direct correlation to how well we can actually do with the property. Because the longer it's been on the market, we all know this, the public knows, Zillow, is showing the public, and every day that the property's listed, it's like, we say it's like UV rays on your skin, right? You're like, being sunburned every day by the public knowing that you're just sitting and sitting. So the earlier we can get a listing, the better we can do with it. Day one would be great, but if that's not the case, if we always tell agents, you know what, put it on the market, try it for 60 to 90 days, maybe 180 in some markets, and see what kind of traction you get. But somewhere in that range, between 90 and 180 days, you're going to start going into this, downhill spiral of just being old merchandise.
Absolutely. So, you said 4 to 6 weeks. That's a pretty quick time frame.
It is.
And I would think two things. On one hand is that 4 to 6 weeks for a seller, for example, that says, I am ready to sell, I don't want to be on the market for 180 days, that for many of these types of properties, that's just how long it takes to sell sometimes, to try to find the unique buyers. So this could be a very good solution for those like, I don't want to hassle with it. I don't want to be waiting for this period of time, 30, 60, 90, 180 days. So number one, anybody says, I want it quick. And really attract as many buyers and aggressive marketing and everything that you just said that's part of the process, and then know and be done with it.
Right.
So I think that would be very exciting to those that actually want it like a set date, because it sounds like you're selling on that at that time frame, right?
Right.
So explain that. I think now that's the good side of the equation. I think the other side, the fear side, would be like, oh wait, maybe I'm not ready. So how do you address that?
Or maybe I can't aggregate, or I'm not confident that we can get as many buyers to the table within that time frame. That might be something that a seller or an agent would say. So our answer to that is, first off, we have a lot of information, statistics to show, over our sales through the past 8 years, how many potential. We think about it as a funnel. So how many potential prospects have been identified? How many people have come to the website? I mean, y'all look at the same stuff for your listings, how many people have been identified. And then from there, how many of them migrate into being prospects, prospective buyers. And typically for any one of our properties, we're identifying somewhere between 200 and 400 prospects. So it's a lot. And that comes from 3 different groups. That comes one from the local market, buyers who are already percolating and looking in the market, 2 from our database, and then 3 from new people. So through our marketing, people that are just picking up the phone and calling, and they weren't even looking for a home before that. So from those prospects, we're then whittling them down into how many of them come to see the home, so previews, and then ultimately how many of them are bidding. So we're able to show sellers that during this time frame, this 4 to 6 weeks, while it seems like it is a very condensed time frame, we actually, with all of the marketing that we're putting out, we when you think about it, a lot of these high-end properties, some agents who are planning well are maybe putting forward a marketing plan that's for 12 months. Well, we're taking that and we're just condensing it into a tighter time frame, so it still is the same amount of exposure. So again, it's that balance between, okay, Mr. Seller, we know you want to sell your house, and we know that this is in your time frame. So, to accomplish that, there might be, there may or may not be a challenge to the pricing because of that, or to the resulting people that are coming to the table. Of course, there are situations where, we're able to ring up the price way up because we create great competition, but ultimately we're trying to accomplish that timing for the seller. That really is the number one. The control and the timing is the number one thing. And so for a lot of our sellers, it's not that they don't value their money. Obviously they own homes like this because most of them have not gotten there by being lucky by winning the Powerball. Most of them have gotten there by hard work and dedication, and they're smart people. So they're not wanting to just throw money out the window, but at the same time, they understand when we show them that we have a systematic approach, and this is how you can expect to feel when auction day comes around.
Yeah, that's helpful. Now, I would assume, though, that the huge benefit to this type of strategy, what potential benefit, is that you on your side, you're doing all on the concierge auction, all the marketing, all the PR, global audience. You have this database of people that you market to, but then you're working in tandem with the real estate broker also. So they're still marketing through the MLS and still doing their approach and doing what they can do, both working together synergistically to drive as many buyers to this event.
Correct.
And hopefully at the event, the benefit versus just getting the right buyer and negotiating price back and forth that may result in a lower price at the end of the day. We're producing the opposite situation, or potentially where you're producing lots of potential buyers at the same time where they compete for that house that they might not otherwise ever have heard about it.
Right.
Or two, that even if they had, they wouldn't have been forced in a situation to have to make a decision.
Right. Exactly. And we always say that the worst thing to hear the day after the auction is from buyers, potential buyers, to say, gosh, if I only would have known that the property was going to sell for that, then I would have registered. And that's one of the biggest things that we try to permeate through the real estate community, especially because sometimes agents, if they're not as familiar with the auction, they might not know if it's really worth their time to register their bidders, or, we're looking for bidders at every level of the ladder. So, investor type bidders, sure, they come, they don't usually end up winning because the more retail buyers end up winning, but we need them there. We need as many people as we can get, because sometimes the property does sell for a price that people say, gosh, if I would have only known. And we're trying to let that not happen. And the agent community is really important for us for that dynamic.
Absolutely. And really at the end of the day, what market value is what buyers are willing to pay. And if you have several buyers in one location at one time, what the house sells for really is the market value.
That's right.
So there's not a better way to determine true value as getting 2 or 3 buyers at the same time. And even in more traditional approaches, that's what we're always looking for, is versus if I can have 2 or 3 buyers for my seller at the same time through a multi-offer situation, I know I am going to get true market value.
Yes.
Even if it's less than the seller wanted or hoped for, no, that's market value because we had a situation where the buyers were competing.
Right.
So you're doing that in a very short time frame and bringing more buyers at the same time and creating this energy, and you have to act and bid up against one another. So
right.
I see it as a very powerful combo. And I really like the idea of you doing your marketing and your resources combined with mine, and to be able to really produce, I think, a great outcome for our customers.
Right. Great.
So as you know, we at Good Life, we like tech, and we really use technology to as part of our marketing and part of our overall service. So I really liked your tech too, which that's, again, so much of what we were doing really sparked my attention. Like, oh my gosh, there's so much like us. Or
right.
It's a very good compliment.
Yeah.
But tell me a little bit about your tech. I love the idea that during the live auction, you still had bidders that were bidding online from around the world.
So technology is a huge focus for us too as a company. I mean, everything from our database management and email marketing and digital marketing, all the way down to intelligence within our database. And what you're mentioning is our mobile bidding platform. So our mobile bidding app is Instant Gavel is the name of it. So anyone can download it. It's a free download from the App Store, and you can watch. Actually, about 75% of our auctions right now are conducted on the mobile bidding platform. The other 25% are still conducted live with an auctioneer, usually at the property calling the bids. Sometimes there's a hybrid approach where the auction's conducted live, as it was here in Austin, but we were also portraying it on the mobile bidding app. So when you download the app, anyone can watch. So it'd be fun for some of your viewers maybe to download it and just start watching some of our sales just to see, how they go. But that definitely has been a huge game changer for us. Last year, about 5% of our auctions were conducted digitally on our mobile bidding app, and this year already 75% of them.
Wow.
So it was really like a switch. We did roll out new enhancements to the app and really tried as a company also to get it more adopted, but the buyers really enjoy it because a lot of our buyers want to be anonymous. They want to be bidding from home. We sell a lot of resort type properties where the buyers are not there in the Bahamas bidding on the property, so they might as well be at home bidding on the mobile app. So it's really worked out. It's really worked out well.
So take me through as quickly as you can a whole process, and let's go for the live auction.
The auction itself, or the whole duration of
Just the whole duration. Let's break it up into a few steps.
Okay, so pre-auction, we work with listing agent, as we talked about, to talk to the seller and see if we're a fit. And we negotiate what we call an auction marketing agreement, so an AMA. And it also has an addendum to your listing agreement. So listing agreement stays in place, and we have an AMA. So it's a tri-party agreement between listing agent, our company, and the seller. So once the AMA is signed, that's the first phase of our business. Then the second is that we're working from AMA to launch. So we're preparing to launch the property to the public. That process is anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, where our marketing team is working collaboratively with you to put together photography, verbiage, print collateral, videography, etc. So that could be, again, anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. And then once we launch the property, that's the 4 to 6 week time period that I spoke of before. That's the exposure period. So we actually have a project sales manager from our team who's assigned to the project with the listing agent. And so they become, like best friends during that time period. We understand that the listing agent has another job to do in selling whatever their other properties are and working with other buyers. So the project sales manager is like our quarterback on the ground locally to help execute showings, registered bidders, etc. So the marketing's going on, and the project sales manager is working with the listing agent to cultivate potential buyers. 4 to 6 weeks, and then the 48 hours before the auction, we're able to sit down with the seller, you, the agent, and talk about the traction that we've received, the number of bidders that are registered, who they are, what their opening bids are. That's a good thing to point out. We have an opening bid process where we're incentivizing bidders to start their bidding at a certain level. So the day before the auction, we get to say, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, the property has been listed for $12 million, and we have opening bids at $4 million, $5 million, $7 million, and some of the bidders don't have opening bids, but usually most of them do. And so we are able to start the auction then the next day with an educated, feel for where it's going to begin, and then just go up from there. So the auction's conducted, whether it's digitally or it's in person. The gavel goes down, contract's signed. The bidders, by the way, if they register to bid, they have to tender a deposit in order to qualify. It's usually about $100,000 or $250,000 that they're putting in escrow. And then if they're the high bidder, they tender the balance of a 10% deposit on the contract. The contract has 10% deposit, and it closes in 30 days. So that is our timeline, 4 phases.
And what about inspections, and so that a buyer knows that the house is what they're getting?
So we do offer a diligence packet with each property, which usually has the property, a pre-inspection that the sellers conducted. There are no inspections after the auction, so any bidders who want to bid, they have to come in and inspect ahead of time, conduct any research for financing ahead of time, because the contract has no contingencies after the auction.
Which is a good thing for a seller.
Sure. Great thing for a seller, and usually for agents too. I mean, it's like all the headaches out of the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And what is there? I mean, is there a minimum bid? Meaning, is there a price that the seller doesn't have to sell at
Most of our auctions are without reserve. So right now we're trending about 75% of them are without reserve, so there's no minimum bid price.
Okay.
The other 25% is there is a reserve. Typically, the only way we'll do a reserve is if it's a published number, and usually around 50% of the prior asking price. So it really needs to be a no-brainer, commanding number to grab the right attention. Otherwise, you're just stifling an auction by setting a number that might be too high. Because what's unfortunate is you then set what most people see as a ceiling for the price instead of a floor to the public. So most of our sales are without reserve, but with that said, our opening bid program sure does help the process, that we're able to, have kind of an auction before the auction starts by giving intelligence to the seller that we do have this starting place. Can't remember the last time that we went into an auction where there was not an opening bid that was tendered by a bidder ahead of time.
And then what about, do all properties qualify? Like, what would qualify or be a disqualifier, maybe, is a better question. And then, because I'm assuming once you have that initial meeting, you determine there, like, yes, this is a fit or not a fit.
Right.
But prior to that, what would disqualify a potential property or seller from
I will say that right now we're looking at about 20 properties for every one that we take. So we're being very specific about the properties that we accept because we want to make sure that we can produce well. The first qualifier for our firm is price. Because for us to, put out the resources and funds that we do for each auction, the property has to command a certain value. Our typical minimum price right now is about $2.5 million. So we have a lot of those 20 inquiries that come in, excuse me, for every one we take. It has to do with price, so we refer those to other auction companies. And we grade every property on 3 criteria. The first is the quality of the property. So is it in move-in condition or does it need some work? We're looking for properties that are really showcase ready, they're move-in ready. That's what our buyers want these days. The second is the market. So is the property in an A+ market? We say, is it in Greenwich or is it in Goshen, Connecticut? There's a difference between the two. Greenwich obviously has the cachet that people are looking for. And then the third is the location within the market. So Aspen, Colorado, for example, Red Mountain is extremely desirable. Basalt, outside of Aspen, is still interesting, but it's not as A+. So we're looking at all 3 of those categories and trying to see how the property fits within those, how it's ranked.
All right, well, thank you. So we're really reaching the end of our time together. Maybe let's leave everyone with what's coming up. Tell me about a property that's going to go to auction pretty soon.
Okay, we have a lot of really exciting ones right now. It's been fun recently to do a lot of resort properties in Mexico. That's been great for the summer. We have one that's coming up in Nashville, Tennessee that is called The Last Dance, and it's really a phenomenal property, one of the most elite properties in Nashville, so that one's going to be a lot of fun. Each month, we actually seem to be focusing on 2 to 3 properties that are really stellar, and I mean we have great inventory across the board, but there are always quite a few that kind of stand out in my mind. This past month, I can say that the 2 super exciting ones. One of them was the Austin, Texas property. It was just so one of a kind.
Yes, it was.
And then another was an estate that we sold in Santa Barbara, California. So that was pretty special too.
Well, and you must see some pretty amazing properties.
I'm pretty lucky like that.
Yeah.
I've been to visit some really, really awesome stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely. Any final words before we complete?
Well, all I can say is I look forward to the first assignment that we get to work together with you guys. I agree with you that we have so many parallels between, how we're pushing boundaries, how we're really innovative and wanting to do new things. So, we'd love to work with you. We'd love to talk to any agents also and just educate them on the process, because whether representing a seller or potentially representing a buyer, I think it's good to get educated on auction. And actually, on that note, I'll bring up, we recently rolled out a website, capreferredagent.com. So that stands for Concierge Auctions, of course, capreferredagent.com. And agents can sign up on that site to be a preferred agent of ours. So that's something that also your agents could do if they want to get to know more about us.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it too.
All right. Well, thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time.